What are some of the things you should know before or while you're playing Knighthood? Been playing for quite a bit, just entered the end game, and so now I'm gonna give you a few tips and tricks to help you along the way. Let's get to it. Hi guys, I'm Gravy here, and this is a Knighthood video. In this video, this is gonna be my first Knighthood video. So I'm actually gonna give an overview of where I am, what I've been doing, how I got there, and some tips and tricks along the way that I wish I knew in the beginning. For this video, I've actually I did start doing some research just now actually. And so I'm learning about builds and everything else. So I have a couple of builds, like 3 builds that I'm working on right now. I'll do that in the next videos, but I'll talk through them really quickly. However, in the beginning, what I actually did and what I'll do is I'll go over the hero that I focused on the most. Then I'll give you all the other little tips and tricks along the way. So let's just hop right into it. First of all, where I am right now with my knight is that he has all the mythic gear. I just got the body piece. That was the last one that I got. And a bit more, I don't know, this might be early game, this might be mid game, but right now, if you notice my mythic gear, outside of the sword, right? And I do have all the weapons here, so let's go ahead and just switch it over to the Blood Moon, because right now the Blood Moon event is going on. So I have my hammer geared for the Blood Moon event, which is against Undead and Beast. Now, if you also notice, the rest of my gear outside of the body piece, so the shoulders and the arms are geared towards Undead, and then the helmet and the boots, the legs, are geared towards the Beast. Now, I just got the body piece like a couple weeks ago. And so I've geared it towards Goblin because of Karnheim. Now, the reason why, and I'm hesitant to do this, I don't know if I'm gonna do it or not. The reason why I haven't done the rest towards Karnheim yet is because of the Blood Moon event. I want to be able to compete at the highest, and I can't go to it right now, but when the portal comes through and you have your levels 25, 35, 45, 55, I want to be able to compete at level 55, so I've kept the gear at Undead and Beast, so that way I can just last longer and take more damage, and then the hammer, of course, is geared towards them, so I can take them out. The body piece gives you the most armor point. Well, actually, I think, let me just double check real quick while I'm talking. Yeah, the body piece gives you the most armor points, right? So I'm tempted to leave it just as Goblin because that's what I'm dealing with in Karnheim, and I've kind of run into a wall there at the Conquest Tower. And I wanted to change like 2 of the other pieces to Goblin so I can deal with Karnheim. However, I don't know that would be a smart thing to do at the moment if I'm still trying to get through the Blood Moon event, which I've already cleared the Blood Moon event itself. And so that's that. However, there's still the side stories, and the portal's gonna open up again, and you have another 20 days left in the event. So the question that I have is, since I have another 20 days left, right? Should I go ahead and gear the rest of the armor towards Karnheim and then just deal with the consequences on the Blood Moon on the side anyway, since I finished that event and I'm just doing like the side stories? That's the thing. And the Attune Forks are relatively hard to come by. They're not exactly cheap in terms of where you're getting them from. So I haven't quite made that decision yet. However, all this is to say, the mythic armor is the best armor in the game. And one of the things that I did not do in the very beginning was I did not, quote unquote, spam the roaming bosses enough, the roaming monsters. Now the roaming monsters have a lot of these awards, a lot of these rewards here, and you're going to want to be farming them as much as possible. Like if you find yourself stuck in a point in PvE, anywhere along the campaign, and for those of you who are like new to the game, this game is really geared, for me, has been geared more towards PvE than PvP. Like they have some really good PvE content in here, so I've more focused my gearing, my builds, and everything towards defeating pieces of the PvE as opposed to being in PvP per se. I just do the 2 PvP battles just so I can get done with the daily task and then I'm over with it. So anyway, farming spamming, however you want to say it, these roaming monsters will provide you with a lot of rewards. And even if you can't use them at the time, it's good to go ahead and stack those things up. I did not do a good job of that up until, I want to say like a month ago, maybe 2 months ago. I was just doing it randomly whenever they would pop up, or if there was ever a bonus in the bounties or whatever, then I would do them and I would end up with a lot of gear left over, like a lot of rewards on the side, a lot of things in my inventory, but I didn't really pay attention enough to the roaming monster. Now the other part of it is you get these chests. Through these chests, you're going to get weapons and everything that you're going to be able to use in the Mythic Rift once you actually open it up, so that you can go ahead and sacrifice those weapons and that armor so that you can build up the mythic gear. And so right now, I think the hammer, well, no, that's the cleaver. That's the axe that I'm working on right now. The axe was the last weapon that I got. So it's a lower level in terms of like the rift level. As you can see down there, current 20, max 20, whatever. For my axe, it's the lowest of all of them because it's the last one I got. Same thing for my body armor. It's the lowest of all of them because I just got it. So I'm working on building those up, getting those chests from roaming monsters, coming back, putting them into the mythic gear. And now another thing that's going on, and I think it's opened up now, is going through the Mythic Rift. I'll go through the Mythic Rift like real quick. One thing that I do in the Mythic Rift is that now, oh, it's not gonna open for another 2 minutes. Is that now, and I'll come back to it later, is that now I'm starting to get other heroes that I like, unique heroes that I'm trying to build. And so when I get them, I want them to be in the Mythic Rift. And Bayani, I'm not so sure I would recommend leveling him up. Anyway, so you see his mythic rate there is at a max. He's at a max for what he is. Now, if I go over, let's go back to swap. All right, now if I go over, you'll see that Bayani is only at 14 because I just decided recently, like last week, to take him up to level 55 because I had enough of his tombs to be able to level him up. So I went ahead and I did it. Took him level 55. He's okay. I still prefer Geber, and I'm gonna get into Geber and what I'm having to do with him in another video when I talk about builds. I'm gonna work on a rebel build for him and Lucan. But anyway. So have him over at level 55. He's at max 30. So at the lower levels of Mythic Rift, what I'll do is I'll put the stronger Mythic Rift character and the other armor, whatever. And then I'll have the weaker one up to like the first 2 or 3 levels when they just can't compete anymore. And then I'll switch them out for my other maxes. And the other maxes I have right now are Mikazuki and Azhar. And I don't even know if I should have. Azhar I'll get into as well on the holy build that I'm working on like in later videos. I'm not sure I should have leveled him up. And Caliban I'm also having doubts about at the moment. So in any case, that is how I'm handling Mythic Rift. Let's see if I can actually go in here. Still another minute left. What you gonna do? So now what I'm gonna do is I'll go ahead and get into, and we'll go to the hunt. The best hero for me in the beginning is a hero that you can farm here at Highport and hunt, and that is Titiana. Titiana is an absolutely incredible hero, and it's for these simple reasons. Fey Gift. Now, part of Fey Gift is that she's restoring your health, and at the lower levels, you want someone who's gonna restore your health, who's gonna help you protect, but then she also gives you Regenerate, which gives you more health every time you get a turn. So you're getting health from her, but then also after every turn, for the next 3 turns, you're going to gain more health as well, and then Protect. Protect on her rage ability, like her rage power. Awesome. Awesome, because you're gonna take less damage, it's gonna help you survive, so that way, you can get through it. I was using Titania, sorry saying your name wrong, Titania. I was using Titania, wow, like a long time. I had already had heroes at that point when I was still using her. I'll give you another example right now. Let me just go to my knight, it'll be easier for me to get to him that way. I was using her for a very long time. I had Pentatonics. Pentatonics? Sure. I had him leveled and ready to go. I would still take Titiana over him. Titania. Ooh, you know what's funny? Doing this video for the first time, like doing these videos for the first time, I'm realizing I've never had to say their names out loud before. problem? Anyway, so because he restores health and armor, fine, and then he adds fury, which also boosts damage. And then on the grand finale, he damages all enemies. Fantastic, great, but is not providing me the defense that I feel like I need in order to get through some of this PvE content. That's why I kept using Titania as opposed to using Pentatonics. Wow, I'm gonna start Penman. Can I change it? Can I just call her Tanya instead of Titania? Would you guys know? Like, you guys would know who I was talking about, right? Anyway, so yeah, I cannot sing her praises enough. I would highly recommend farming her and leveling her up. I stopped at 40 because at a certain point, she stopped having usefulness, and at a certain point, Pentatonics was actually a little bit better. But really, oh no, scratch that. That's not what happened at all whatsoever. I had a defensive / healing build. I was running Pentatonics with Titania, all those names. And I ended up getting Carmilla in the middle of that whole situation. And then that's what made Titania and Pentatonics fall off. Now, if you can't tell, what I did a lot of times was just go for straight defensive healing builds to get through the PvE content. Now I'm gonna have to worry about like specific builds geared with specific gauntlets. Like I said in like later videos, I'm gonna go ahead and get into those a little bit more specific. But yeah, overall, as I'm rambling through, overall point, if you're just starting out the game, Titania, I cannot recommend her enough. Build her, level her up. I stopped at level 40 because I just had other tunes that were gonna do better for me, so I stopped ranking her up at that point. But she is absolutely incredible as a hero. One more thing I wanted to touch on before I call it a video is the Dwarven Foundry. This is also one of the reasons why you want to farm roaming monsters. Get those chests, get that equipment, because here you can also combine the equipment and level them up. So you'll go from rare to epic, from epic to legendary, so on and so forth. And that's actually one of the things I had to do in order to get mythic armor, was to level up some of the equipment. I don't think I'm even able to do this right now. Let's see, because this is the other thing, and it's a rule in the game. I don't like this rule, but it is what it is. You have to have at least one piece versus every type. So versus troll, versus goblin, versus outlaws, beast, whatever. So I'll use that goblin one, right? I come over here, try to use outlaw. It's my last outlaw. I can't use it. I can't stand that. I hate that. So I could level this up if I had one more epic piece, if I had one more rare piece to be able to use, but I can't. That's so freaking obnoxious. But what I will do is, one of the things I did, got it from the bounty. I'm gonna go ahead and do it right now. And I think it should be for the hammer. Is it for the hammer? Ooh, get back over there. Get back over there. Boom. So I'm able to go ahead and level up my hammer right now. So my hammer is gonna be the strongest piece I have for a while, for a minute. One more thing I wanted to touch on, actually, so I lied about that being the last point, is I wanted to go ahead and go through the merchants real quick. Now, the thing is that I think that a lot of the deals with the merchants in terms of like weaponry, armor, and everything else is a ripoff. Like, I don't want to spend, and as you see, I bought that axe so I could go ahead and do a level up in the mythic realm. And I had the goal to do it, but I got impatient and I went ahead and did it. I could have just farmed the roaming monsters and got those pieces. So like, I feel like a lot of the stuff out of the merchants is a bit of a hustle in terms of armor and weaponry. But in the tailor, I mean, it's a cosmetic thing, so I'm not really too worried about it. I picked up the like cosmetic gear that I wanted along the way going through different events. So I don't really spend gold on that. The monster caves, they do have some good gear from time to time, but at the same time, it can be too expensive. I do like to use, or I did in the beginning, and this is where there might be a bit of a debate, but let's go ahead and go into it. The chests that I would pick up, which I could pick up a couple of chests right now, a couple of equipment chests, or I could pick up a couple of hero chests. One thing that I will say that I don't know, and I don't know if I should give this advice or not, or if I should, I'll pose it as a question. So we have hero chests and we have equipment chests. Now in the beginning, what I did was I would always spend all of my extra tokens, however you want to call them, the arena tokens, the the blood tokens that you get here, I think it's called like blood moons or something, that you get from here, I would spend them all on hero chests and just unlock as many heroes as possible. Now the problem with that is that I ended up early in the game, I ended up diversifying the resources amongst a lot of heroes, really like thinking I was trying to find a balance, when in actuality, I was just making it harder and longer for me to get through PvE. My advice would be, you have your Titiana, right? But once you find a tune that you feel could replace her, then I just put them to the side and then just devote my resources to them. As opposed to chasing heroes now, I think I should have chased equipment chests. To level up the actual equipment, to level up the weapons, to level up the armor, all that other stuff, I feel like I was behind on the armor and the weaponry as opposed to the heroes. Like, I don't, and hey, if you guys know better than me, let me know, comment below. But using the merchant tokens, however you want to call them, all the different items that you're able to use to barter and get things out of the merchant shops, I was using a lot on the hero chests, a lot. And on top of it, the hero chests give you like a lot of rare shards for heroes, like a lot of rare shards that you can farm in the hunt. So I don't know that that was the smartest tactic to go about things. I think maybe the best idea is to spend those things on the equipment chest. And then you have, I think there's gonna be more chests down here. Also going along with like your guild stuff. I'll touch on guild stuff in another video. And then also with the arena. Now in the arena, one thing that I have been doing is you can get these charms. And right now I'm trying to save up to get that acid blade. I think I'll be able to get it today, actually. So, because I'm trying to build one of my weapons to just lay down acid damn near every time. So anyway, but yeah, they're the hero chest and then the equipment chest. So the question is, do you go for the equipment chest or do you go for the hero chest? I personally would recommend going for the equipment chest. Stack up the equipment, go ahead and like build up your armor, build up your weapons. The heroes will come along, and a lot of them that you get from those hero chests, you can farm on the hunt. So, and I know you can get a lot of the equipment from roaming monsters as well, but yeah, I'm leaning more towards the equipment chest. I think you should go ahead and build, I think you should go ahead and put a lot of resources, well, a lot. Put a portion of your resources into the equipment chest and worry about building up your armor and your weapons. So that would be my advice there. So that's that. That's the quick tips and tricks that I would give out. I'm gonna go ahead and do a couple of other videos on like gauntlets versus heroes and the builds that I'm actually working on right now. So thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe. If you don't like it, subscribe and hit dislike. I'm okay with that as well. And I'll see you guys next time.